Welcome everyone. This is VCT Pacific Stage 2 Scrum. For today, we have Global Esports Spin and Benkai on set. Let's begin by hearing from both on their thoughts of the game.
Not the worst performance, but ultimately a bit sad to not come away with a win. Didn't do very well on the attack side of Lotus. Took us a long time to kind of get into the game. I think we were a bit jittery in that game. Comms started getting a little bit erratic. Started making a really good comeback, of course, and then blew it on that one round where we let them have the 1v4. It was 1v4. I think game's a different story if we win that round, but we didn't. Ascent started off really strong again. They made some adjustments. I think our adjustments were a little bit too slow after that. And then we just, I think we just crumbled a little bit on the defense side, unfortunately.
I mean, I'm just echoing what he said because that pretty much summarizes what happened again. Yeah.
Right. The first question goes to the coach. Was the team anticipating Saya players or plays on Timber? If so, did it influence the team's strategy?
Obviously, we expected them to run the chamber a lot. Obviously, they were favoring that in their previous games, and so we expected to see the op a lot. We didn't really change how we played very much because Icebox and well, not so much Lotus, but on Icebox we used to playing against the op. Lots of teams play Jet on the op, so it doesn't really change much fundamentally. On Lotus, we didn't have to adapt that much because the composition we run is quite good at dealing with the op, so we weren't overly worried. On Ascent was where we kind of struggled against it, and I'm not really sure why that was. I feel like we just made some small mistakes on when we took our, when we should have used util versus when we should have contacted. I think that was the small mistakes we made.
Okay, next question goes to Benkai. How would you evaluate your performance today? Any thoughts on your personal performance?
I think I've done what I could as IGL. I think maybe mechanically not that strong, but in a calling sense, I think I did the best that I could. Yeah, and I think I did a decent job with like controlling the team and trying to like keep their like communication from getting too erratic, like too excited. Like there were a bunch of rounds where I saw everybody was just like giggling like a bunch of dolphins. So I had to like settle them down a bit. And I think I did a pretty decent job, but I guess after that 1v4 on Lotus, kind of like got into everybody's heads a bit more, I think. So it was past the point that I felt like I couldn't really do anything more. It was more of like down to the players in the team to pull themselves back. Yeah.
Okay, next question goes to Spin. The team has a strong lead initially on Ascent, but was unable to secure a map win. Could you walk us through what went wrong?
Realistically, it sounds like I'm just kind of making the same excuse every time, but it comes down to the composure on the stage. We've played Ascent a lot. We've played against that comp a lot. So we know what to expect. We know the different positions we can play in, and we just kind of stop doing the things that we know the things that we know we can do that work well. I think that's been the story of the season really for us. Unfortunately, like you need a lot of the right elements, and we just kind of lacked that specific element today, and in a few of our previous games where. I think it's obvious looking at the games that we have the level to compete. Not everyone would agree with that, of course, but I think it's obvious from watching the games, and it's really just down to the small percentages of these games now.
Okay. For next, we have two questions for both of you guys. The first is, what will the team be working on after this match? And the other one is, how will the team be preparing for your next match against Genji?
I guess first thing that comes to mind is just analyzing what we could have done better and just using that to focus on what we need to work on during scrims next week. And yeah, it's basically just trying to highlight like the mistakes that we made in this series and just trying to work on them before Genji.
Yeah, I think it's mostly the same. When you putting together a schedule, it's kind of like you need the right balance of kind of everything. It's a bit like a good granola bar. You kind of want, you don't want too much of one thing and too much and too little of the other. So I think we focused quite a lot on strats throughout this block, and recently a lot on comms. I think, to be honest, like now that we're out, we can just kind of enjoy the preparation a little bit more. That it takes a lot of the stress away, and just focus on making the scrims enjoyable and reminding ourselves what works, so that we can go into the game, with those things in mind again, and then aim to do better.
Okay, that's all for pre-submitted questions. We will now open up the floor for live questions. If you have any questions, please use hand raise function. All right, I don't think there is any questions from the media. Thank you guys for joining. We will see you on next group.
Thank you very much.